Recognition.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the rules and agree to the resolution HRS 1337, expressing the sympathy and condolences of the United States House of Representatives to the people affected by the flooding of a week ago in Tennessee, Kentucky, and Mississippi in the first week of May 2010.
The clerk will report the title of the resolution.
House Resolution 1337, resolution expressing the sympathy and condolences of the House of Representatives to those people affected by the flooding in Tennessee, Kentucky, and Mississippi in May 2010.
Pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from Tennessee, Mr. Cohen, and the gentleman from Tennessee, Mr. Duncan, each will control 20 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Tennessee.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members may have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks.
Without objection, so ordered.
Mr. Speaker, I yield myself such time as I may consume.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the first week of May, the great storms came through from the west, and it struck in Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Kentucky. The flooding damage was record-breaking. The damage done in the state of, in all states was great, but in the state of Tennessee was the most severe, my home state. The most destruction, I guess, and most damages occurred in the district of the Honorable Jim Cooper, who has Davidson County and environs. But in my own county of Shelby, there was extensive damage. I joined with my colleagues in calling on our governor to issue a request for a declaration of emergency, and that was done by Governor Bredesen. The federal government has responded in a magnificent manner. President Barack Obama, in his historic speech to the Democratic National Convention in 2004, said how there were not a red United States of America and there was not a blue United States of America, but there was only one United States of America. And in this particular instance, where people suffer in states that are all considered politically red states, the United States of America has responded with all of its resources to help our people, and our people need help. FEMA's been on the ground. FEMA Director Fugati was in Tennessee in no time. Secretary Napolitano has been to Nashville. Secretary Donovan of HUD and Secretary Locke of Commerce have been to Memphis and to Nashville as well, and others have been there. I had FEMA officials at my town hall meeting on Saturday. They have let people know that the federal government is there to help. The people have been very responsive, and our local governments were responsive. When I went to Millington on Monday and toured some of the damage there, the people in the neighborhood said that the Shelby County officials had been outstanding in their response. They now feel the federal government officials have been outstanding. Secretaries Locke and Donovan visited the Ed Rice Community Center. There's now a shelter in Frazier, part of my district. They visited in Millington also. There are people in the Midtown, more the heart of my district, who had great flooding damage. And people know now to call 1-800-621-FEMA to lodge their notice of their damages, and to get on the list to start to have inspectors to come out, which they're doing, to assess the damages and ascertain which individuals are qualify for the $29,900 in recovery funds that can be had for the damages to their residential establishment and or their primary vehicle. The SBA has been there, and the head of the SBA, and the SBA is set up to help in losses over $29,900 and to businesses for their losses as well. City and county governments and state governments will be eligible to qualify for debris removal and for goods that have been distributed. Overall, the volunteer state has responded as a volunteer state should, and from its naming. Volunteers have come from everywhere to help the people who have been damaged, and we've been contributing. Hillary Clinton, and quoting an African proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a village and a government to come together to help its people in times of great distress and natural disaster, and we've seen the federal government do that, and this government in particular, and I'm proud that we've done so, and I appreciate the response that I've seen in my state of Tennessee. And I regret the damage, and I know the people have withstood it well, and I hope it never happens, but we know it will, but the federal government's been there. So with that, I reserve the balance of my time.